Hello and welcome to Big Brother Nigeria Reunion Review. And this is Love and Light to Kamba. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm happy to have you. Do well to subscribe and like and leave a comment at the end of the session. If you disagree, it is welcome. Let's just keep it respectful and just state your opinion. That being said, let's head on to today's conversation. So today's conversation started with the love triangle slash square between Giddyfia, Amaka, Diana, and then lastly, I think Rachel got into the mix, and how Giddyfia was caught in some old clips, but nothing Amaka saying that she's putting on too much and trying to make an extra effort. But the truth of the matter is that Giddyfia was playing with the emotions and the head of four girls in the house, or let me say three. Rachel's one was later at the end, and we really quite didn't understand because it looked like there was history there. And he was called out for it, and he was even, making fun of Diane, Diana, and just bad mouthing what's her name, Amaka. And when they not catch you for like, he was like, more. He because Ebuka asked him who does he feel like he owes an apology, and he says he might as well just come to the middle and apologize to everybody because he was wrong, he effed up, and he was caught on camera. 4K. You cannot lie, you cannot deny it. There's video evidence, so now you have to say sorry. And yet, but one thing I appreciate about this segment was how articulate Amaka was, and I have to give Amaka, you know, credit throughout this process. While some people have gone out of character, a lot of people have gone out of character and they've hit below the belt in trying to state their points. Amaka has been able to clearly and concisely state her point without hitting below the belt, without stepping out of character, and just being articulate. And there's something to say about it. And I'm really proud of her. And that is something that I have to also look and be like, okay, I hope that I will remember this when I'm also trying to make my point and not lose my cool because it's really something to commend. Just use your words. Let's learn to use our words and use the right words and not hit below the belt. So I have to commend Amaka. She held Giddyfire accountable. She said he was like a mastermind because Giddyfire was now trying to say, "Oh, yeah, I feel bad for the way I handled it." You don't have a choice. We've shown it to you on camera. And Amaka called him out and said he masterminded the whole thing. He played with them. So don't come out and play the dumb card like, "Oh, I really didn't know." You know you were doing. It's okay. We don't catch you. It's fine. Keep it moving. And yeah, that's just a lesson to all them ladies, including us watching, that most of these guys don't take their word for it. Believe your eyes over what people tell you. If somebody tells you one thing but they're doing something else, just believe what they're doing. Because she said she'll come to Gidifa and ask him, "Is there anything going on?" And he'll be like, "No." And you ask Diamond, "Is there anything going on?" "No." But the action you're seeing is saying otherwise. So believe what you see, not what they say. You get, because people will say whatever, but at the end of the day, their actions betray them. Now let's move on to the second part. Now, to the second part of the segment, we had a game of telephone literally play before our very eyes. And this is where, see, I've been, like, we all have been guilty about it. Most of us, we gossip in this life. We tell each other, "Oh, do you know what happened?" Talk about yourself and you talk about other people too. It's like we all gossip, let's not lie. We talk about people. But this is just a prime example of how the game of telephone can, somewhere in the middle, somebody's going to add information, somebody's going to add salt and maggi, and you will not be able to tell what part of the story, like at what point of the telephone game the story changed. You just know that at the end of the day, somebody has added salt and maggi to the story. So let me just give you the graphic of this telephone game, basically the layers and how it finally got. It started with Groovy and Fina being in a relationship in the house. And Amaka and Chichi were talking about something else. And then Chichi asked, "Alpha, are Groovy and Fina a thing?" Amaka said yes, and they do what couples do. Chichi, thinking that Bella was her friend at the time, went and told Bella that, "I heard that Fina and Groovy are a thing, oh, and they do what couples do." That's what Chichi said. She said, Bella now went around to Chomzi and told Chomzi, You might like this guy, but let me tell you, according to Bella now, leave him alone because he already has something going on and he's sleeping with um they're already having sex. And then Chauncey went goes and tells Groovy. See the way see the story long. But I feel like this is just an unnecessary conversation. Starting from the Amaka, at the end of the day, I know that Amaka was trying to clear her name and say, I never said sex. But at the end of the day, what do couples do? Well, like when you say they do what couples do, as long as you do not specify, people would bracket it. Couples do a lot of things. Some couples shake, and then all the way to intimacy. So people can interpret. It's open to interpretation. So even if along the line somebody added salt and Maggie, I'm not surprised because it's an open statement. What couples do. It's not left to people to start filling in the box, filling the blank spaces, and that's exactly what people did. They filled in the blanks. So I don't even know why it's so like what couples do was the statement that they all claim they made. And somewhere along the line, more details were added to what couples do. So people try to fill in the blanks. Okay, what do couples do? And then they added FCC at some point. But I don't know, I don't just see the problem. Because I don't know was it a lie? Did they not do but it wasn't really a lie. I think I was just mad that Amaka, that was supposed to be her friend, told her story, but it wasn't a lie. So they sha went back and forth, and of course, they're trying to make Chichi out to be the liar. The truth is this: I don't know who is lying, but frankly, I do not care. It's not that deep at this point, and it wasn't even deep months ago when they were carrying it on their head. What couples do was open for interpretation, and somebody along the telephone line decided to add flesh to the skeleton of the statement that says what couples do and try to fix it. That's what happens when we play the game of telephone. Simple. Chicken now. And the last conversation that they had before we ended for the day was Ilebaye and Chichi. I feel like some people lack intelligence and some people just have this sense of self-importance that there's no problem with having a sense of self-importance, but there's a problem when your sense of self-importance impedes on other people's personal space. So they talked about Ilebaye and Chichi, and Ilebaye said that when people dance, she goes in between them and just dances. That's what she does. Just because that's what you do doesn't mean that it makes any sense. You get my point? Like it's a different thing when you say, oh, when people are dancing, I go meet them and just dance with them, dance around them. But for you to say you took your head and go to the middle like a girl and a guy they're dancing, maybe they like each other, maybe they're having a thing, maybe it's just dance. You don't know, but you say you will go in between them and you will scatter you will try to push the girl away, like, and you say that's what you do. Just because that is what you do does not mean it makes sense. I wonder you gonna try with somebody that will give you that woes you. Maybe she's dancing with that guy and then you go and trick her, they go, once you slap. Because I don't understand. So you saying I do it just because you do it doesn't make it right. And then you go according to the story. You go between them, you want to be the defender of the defenseless. Fina is dancing on her own. Chichi is dancing with Groovy. You now decide that this is what you're going to do. You're going to be the one to, equate and balance the energy in the universe and make wrong right again, and then you go and then you know push Chichi away. And while you're trying to push Chichi away, drinks spilled, you stepped on her just because you wanted to go and replace Chichi with Fina. So let me get this straight. Ilebaye had the brilliant idea, seeing that people were dancing randomly. You saw Chichi and Groovy dancing, so you decided you're going to go split that dance, split them, and replace Chichi with Fina because you felt I don't know, the defender of the universe. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. If besides at that point in time, I don't even think Fina and Groovy had established anything at that point. It was just that Fina liked Groovy. They hadn't established anything, but you just felt the need to do that, and you still have the right. And you say I said sorry, and you should have accepted sorry. You can say sorry. You know, it's easy for the offender to say sorry. In fact, one of my aunts says when they tell you sorry, they've cheated you because you've done something to offend me. So your sorry is a way to get away with you've offended me. Nobody says sorry if they've not offended you. So you want to get you've gotten away with something. You're saying sorry. My aunt says that if she had an opportunity to delete a word from the dictionary, it would be sorry. Because when somebody tells you sorry, they've cheated you. But I just say that to digress. What I'm saying is that when you say sorry, it doesn't mean that the person has to accept your apology, especially if the person feels it wasn't genuine. So I think that Ilibari in that context really was coming with a level of arrogance and entitlement that I don't even understand where it's coming from. You're not entitled to just move people like pieces on the chessboard. Like you don't get to do that on the dance floor. You now decide these people are dancing, but you know what? I feel like you should be dancing with this person. So don't worry, I'm going to move. Like, what's your problem? It's just funny to me. It's funny. It reeks of lack of. You must not have a healthy touch with reality to think that you can just do that and it's cool. And you stepped, and according to what I'm hearing, well, I don't know because we really didn't finish the conversation. According to Chichi, Ilibaye, when they went to South Africa, was still poking her. This is what I don't like. See, I have had experiences with bullying in my past. I've had experience with bullies. I've been bullied before. So when I just sense that people bully in different ways, especially when we're kids, people bully you because they're bigger than you and they can beat you. But when we grow up these days, people bully you by playing a game of numbers. Once they have more people, they can just gang up against you. So I've been seeing a lot of bullying in this reunion and people just trying to bully Chichi. I'm not saying Chichi is a saint, but I feel like people are joining forces to beef. Like for instance now, why did Ileba have to infuse herself in that? It had nothing to do with her. But now it's about someone you've took yourself in the middle. Same thing with when Chichi was having a back and forth conversation with Chomsy days ago, and Ilebaye and what's her name, Rachel, felt the need to chime in. That's a gang up to me. If in that moment she's talking to Chomsy, Chomsy can handle herself. Let it be a back and forth between the both of them. You guys don't have to join forces against one person. Thank God Chichi is a strong person. She can handle you all individually. But when people begin to gang up, it's not a fair fight. So I will never ever support any form of bullying. Never. I do not do that. I don't accept it and I will never endorse it. And I see a lot of it this reunion. And yeah, I will keep giving my opinion. If you disagree, it's fine. We can talk about it. But on that note, I want to say thank you for joining me onto this episode. And I just want to put it out there and say consistency is not easy. I want to shout out to every YouTuber, every content creator that has been consistent for a long time, especially Lucy, my friend, who has been doing this YouTube thing for years. And I think you have been fairly consistent. I want to do a shout out to you because it's not easy, but I can do it. And I can do it with your help. So please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell me. I know that a lot of people will disagree. So tell me, what's your disagreement? And we can talk about it. And on that note, I want to say good night and love ya.